The Black Fat Femme Podcast is a production of iHeartRadio and Dr. John Paul, LLC. Hey everyone, welcome to another episode of the Black Fat Femme Podcast, where all the intersections of identity are celebrated. Why did I just act like I didn't know what the fuck I was going to say? Anyway, I'm one of your hosts, John, also known as Dr. John Paul, and while I am fresh off the red carpet of hosting my very first award show, shout out to the Shorty Impact Awards for having my black ass up there acting a fool in front of all those rich ass companies and people with a whole bunch of monies. I do want to say that I still got some words for some of you who are not. So speaking of big name companies who, bring in creators and bring in folks, to do work. And I'm going to talk about this a little bit more at the end of the show. I'm going to need y'all to be paying your invoices. There's no reason why we should be doing, especially if you are a large corporate company and I know you have more than 2, 3, 4 millions in revenues of shares and things.
Know.
There's no reason for you to be late on paying
You got the money, girl.
a contractor's invoice. So
you got the money.
I don't want to have to queue up Brooke Valentine and have a girl fight. But I will throw on my Amazon heels, jump in my car, and drive down to where the church,
let them know
the purchase. What is it? The purchase orders. I will jump in my car, and move down to go handle the purchase orders. But anyway, all that to be said, I don't want to have to get too rogue on the mic so soon. How you feeling? How you doing? How's it been, sis?
Answer those POs, bitch, before you PMO, okay? Before you piss me off.
Yes,
okay?
yes.
Girl fight.
Yes.
Lovies, it's your bestie Jordan, aka Joho. And I'm cold, bitch.
Yeah.
God damn, it's chilly outside. I'm not prepared for it. Why? I feel like it's Arctic outside.
It's
I feel like a little bear. I'm
penguin.
hibernating. I ain't shaving my beard because I'm trying to get all husky for the winter. I gotta start eating more carbs and stuff. But it's so cold outside.
Yeah.
And it's sad because I just realized so when I drive in the rain, I realize I'm not a San Diegan because bitches can't drive in the rain and I can.
Right.
But I realize I am a San Diegan because now I'm cold at 60 degrees. I'm here wearing a sweater. Bitch, it's 62. Why am I in a sweater?
Cut on the heater.
Growing up, I would
cut
never.
It on.
I know
Cut it
I'm this
on.
close. I'm this close, y'all. If you see the camera,
nah.
If you did close, baby.
Yeah,
Oof.
I be telling people I'm not. One thing about me, and two things that are for sure. I'm gonna cut that heater on as soon as it drops below 65. It is cold to me. It is cold. I don't care about. Oh, it's not that cold. Fuck you. I'm turning on the heater because I am cold. I'm not worried about it. Just what? It's real. People. Oh, it's not that cold. It's cold to me.
Real. No, it's so real. Listen, how everyone wants to spend their gas is totally the business, and I support all the above.
Yeah.
I love when it's cold though, because I put on a little sweater, I
Right,
have
cute.
a little blankets, and
Yeah.
my little slippers on. I feel good when it's cold.
But it is. But the point that we're sticking to in this moment is that it's cold, and that
it's cold.
Yes, that it
It's
is
cold.
cold.
It's cold.
So yes.
Well, let's gonna heat up now because it's just us in this kitchen this week, girl. Okay. Now let's wrap the show like we do every week in regular fashion by giving our girl Mrs. Campbell her flowers in our Still Here segment by asking, what have you noticed that's been full of beauty lately? For me, I think it's been the sense of renewed hope I've been seeing.
Yeah.
For example, with Mamdani's election, I was reading that 82% of queer voters voted for him. And that demonstrates the power of the queer vote, right? But also the intentionality behind queer involvement in politics and queer organizing in politics. I think there's a lot of beauty in that in particular because we're in a time where we don't always know how much our vote matters or how much our organizing matters around really big issues that impact us. And we're seeing, right, in some ways, our votes be squandered and seen as not important, but we're saying actually our votes are powerful. We're powerful as a community of people as well, too. And I'm really loving that. So I see a lot of beauty. I always see beauty in queerness anyways, but I'm seeing a lot of beauty in the queer folks are showing the fuck up and showing the fuck out. And the way that the straights are not right, because I think the comparison was that in that same vein, 47 percent of straight voters voted for, 53% of straight voters voted for Mamdani. And then so a higher percentage of straight voters did not vote for Mamdani. And obviously there comes a difference between what the population data is, but if we are almost double the amount of voting power in that way, like,
Yeah.
that's kind of really, really, really dope,
Mhm.
on the queer's part. So, yeah, there's a lot of beauty in knowing that we are organizing to really fight for our future in ways that
Mm.
we haven't before.
Yeah. That I think that was kind of, and that's what I've been telling people when, again, you could feel not even just the hope in the city, but you can feel the hope kind of throughout all of social media when people saw Mom Donnie win. And then, all
Yep.
the other folks, even just, like I said, like we said in one of our episodes about 2 or 3 weeks ago when we were talking about it, I think the wave of feeling of like, oh, okay, actually, we do have the power. And I think that's the thing people were missed
Mhm.
is that as much as we play the whole, oh, it's there's not much we can do, our hands are tied. No, I think we're seeing people like again, they're revving up and people are quote unquote, folding more into the bad because they're
Yeah.
recognizing that we're becoming more aware, we're becoming more educated. And I think I've been wanting to say this, and I'm glad that we have the space in this show slash episode to talk about this. I think what we're seeing is, the whole notion of fake news and the whole notion of dismantling Twitter and dismantling social media and the way that it's been done. I think folks recognize that that's where a lot of us have been going to get our information. And it is so cool to see people, even with all of this stuff happening, still showing up and using their platforms and their content to make sure that we know exactly what's going on, behind.
Mhm,
Because I'll be honest,
mhm.
I'm not like I've said before, I'm not a poli sci girl. I don't keep my eye on CNN. I don't keep my eye on whatever they call MSNBC now. Like I'm not keeping my eye on that stuff. And so
Yeah.
it's always really cool when I can go to a certain influencer's page or I can go to a certain creator's page and they say, be careful of this, watch that, keep this in mind. And so it's been really cool to see a lot of people who were saying, I don't think Mom Donnie's going to win, be able to say, actually, I'm happy he did. People, we're
Okay.
seeing a renewed sense of joy and hope. And I think that, like you said, it's beautiful. I know for me, I think this is such a beautiful question and a very timely question because I was thinking about how ugly this world has been this year for so many people and how many people that I know personally are being affected by it. I won't name the person, but there has been someone that I've been in communication with on my Instagram, and I have been literally every day trying to check in on them and just make sure that they're okay, and
Mm,
sending them messages, sending them notes, and I think that what I've been trying to remind them to do is like take it day by day, take the
yeah.
moment, look at the beauty of what you've created, look at the moment of the beauty of what you could potentially create. Yes, it may feel hard right now, but you're going to feel so much greater when that thing happens or that thing comes, to life, and then you can turn around and say, I got it. I did what I fought through the hard
Mm,
part. And so, I think for me, I think about that daily in the work that I do specifically. I don't purport myself to be a Mother Teresa because if I'm nowhere
mhm.
near her. I'm not gonna be in nobody's missionary praying with praying hands. That's just ain't who I am. I throw hands, I don't use them to pray per se. But I will say that when I am at work or when I am in community with the youth that I work with, I see the beauty not only just in them, but in the work that I'm doing for them. And I think it's important to affirm that and affirm how lucky I am that I am in this moment, with everything we're doing, right? From the award shows to winning awards for the show to being on other people's podcasts to, folks recognizing us or, I have someone, I don't know where I was. Someone recently was telling me that they knew someone who listened to our show. Like just those moments, that for me is what beauty is. Those are the bright
Yeah.
lights in a very dark moment to know that people are looking to us as their beacon of light in a moment where things feel very bleak for them. So, I
Mm,
also think about the beauty of what we have had in the past few weeks. Like, I think about us specifically, right? This notion of we've gotten to travel together, we've gotten to laugh together, we almost cried together. Like, that's also beauty. Like the relationships and the friendships and the connections that I've made with people this year. I'll even shout out our editor Joey. Like Joey, got slated into our show. For those of you who know, we used to have another producer, and then Joey came right in, and it literally felt like the last producer who kind of had to move on to do other things. There was no time lost. There was no there we didn't lose momentum. And if anything, I feel like we've become much more confident in our show because of our new producer. And
mhm.
so I'm just very grateful. I think I guess I'll say this, and I'm trying to say this without getting too emotional because There are some things in the background that y'all don't know, and I'm not going to talk about it here on the show. But what I will say is, in that moment where I could feel really down and feel really sad about something that happened or transpired this week, I again won't go too much into it. I'm looking at it and I'm saying I'm going to take every single moment of beauty and every single moment of light and I'm going to pour into that and what could
Mm,
potentially be versus focusing on what hasn't happened for me or what is happening to me per se.
mm,
And so all of that to be just to be said, I just want to pour into you and say I thank you for being such a light of and tenacity for me this year because I don't think I would be able to keep showing up with the outright joy and the laughter
mm,
and the happiness that I have. And I think
mhm.
you in a lot of ways make this world a beautiful place as well. I should say both of y'all, both our producer and my co-host. I'm so grateful that I get to do this with y'all every week. So
Mm.
yeah.
The same way. Thank you,
Yeah, you're
love.
welcome, Booski. All right. Well, I guess enough of us loving on each other. I don't think, there are moments where I'm like, I'm sure people listening, like, here they go, loving on each other again. And it's like, no, you got to tell your sisters you love them because this time is, I mean, you also got to tell people that things is beautiful. And so while y'all sing Christina Aguilera's Beautiful in the Mirror to yourselves, we are going to take a quick break and come back with this week's category more in just a second. All right. We are black, and this week, I don't know how to slot it into a category. It was just something that me and you had been talking about back and forth,
Mhm,
and
mhm,
I was just like, I think we need to do something on this because it also came up in other conversations that I was having with other people, and so I was like, I think this might actually make a really good topic for conversation this week. I
mhm,
really wanted to get into a conversation around the idea of activism. And for those of you who do what we like to call quote unquote good work, and the thought about how so many people seem to have this, I don't know what you call it, Jordan, but like this uncomfortableness of someone doing activism work and not being poor, like actually making a living and being and doing like and do quote unquote doing activism very well and being able to take care of themselves. And so I have had folks in the past year throw shots at me because folks, and again, this is something that I struggle with because I never ever I when I came out the gate doing what I do now, which is now the podcast, which is now the book, which is now the, going to eventually be a television show, all these things, right?
Okay.
When I yeah, I'm speaking into existence, honey. When I was
Okay.
thinking of all of those things, I never set out to say I'm going to be an activist and I'm going to do this thing. No, I was just a black fat queer girl who was like, I'm sick and tired of not having my story out in the world or having stories like mine out in the world. So I'm going to make that an opportunity I'm going to take that opportunity to do that. Right. And then the world just kind of was like, you're an activist. And I was like, wait a sec. Now hold on a damn
Now,
minute. Now, wait a damn
who
minute.
said
Who said
that?
that?
Who
Who
said
said
that?
that? And so I guess something I have been thinking about for months, even thinking about that is, and I wanted to ask you, before we jump in, what's your thought on being labeled? Because, like I said, it still bothers me a little bit that folks just kind of put the activist label on me without even me being able to say, like, yo, this is something I wanted. Not to say that I don't
Mm,
mind being an activist now, because I'll tell you, a lot of what I do is rooted in activism work. I get that.
mhm,
But
mhm, mhm.
being labeled an activist before I even called myself an activist was a little annoying. And so I would love to know what your thoughts are on that first. This notion of us being pushed into the margins because honestly, I hate it. I hate the thought of having to become an activist just to have our voices heard, and then all the misconstrusions that kind of come with it, and if that's even a word. So I'll elaborate later, but I would love to know your thoughts on that.
So I love this question. And listener, if you're listening and you have good auditory understandings of things, I sound different now, and that's because the Mercury retrograde had got me, gal.
She got
It
me,
had got me,
God.
gal. Oh
Yeah,
my god, we tried
yeah.
to kill your favorite famous bitch by switching up the audio inputs, but we hear in this
Did
bitch on
and
my mic
did.
now. So if you
Yes,
heard me earlier, you said, "Oh, he sound rough." I sound better now, and I pray it says like this the rest of the time.
and it
So,
will, and it will.
and that is activism in a heart in a nutshell, baby. Okay, so So
Ah,
as I was trying to say,
yes.
I think activism, I kind of always sought out to be an activist. It was like a choice I made
Mhm.
once I felt like the spirit to fight. I think I
Yeah.
focus more on the doing than being. Like it wasn't so much I want to say I'm an activist, but like I wanted to do activism and
Mm.
I knew I wanted to fight about things that were important to me and also fight for the betterment of people around me. I think my relationship to it has changed a lot over the years because at first, I think my first and only expression of activism for a while was like you're at the protest and you're in the march and you're setting up to police officers and all that stuff. And I think my articulations of it or expressions of it grew. So I also realized that activism shows up in different ways, right? Then my activism became about journalism and writing about the protest or documenting the protest or taking photos of it or doing stuff online. And have to have a balance of how do I do stuff in person and online, or then it evolved into I'm being invited into the rooms where other people are not. So how do I help build new tables? How do I dismantle the old tables? How do I help create new seats at the tables? And so I think that's kind of like how I've never been mad about at being labeled an activist. I think I've wanted that.
Mhm.
I think what matters to me more though is that people agree that I am, and not in the sense that they're not that their approval of me,
Right.
but that they feel like I am earning or have earned that title and that I am
The
doing the
moniker.
work
Yeah.
right.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah, because like I think there's what's important to me is not so much what I call myself, but what my community calls me.
Well,
And so because listen, you can say a lot of things, but your community says you're
mhm.
trash, then you're trash,
Well,
girl.
yeah,
And
well, and
I'm
there are
not
a lot
trying,
of people in the community being called trash.
who are trash, whether it's
Yeah.
in public or behind closed doors.
Right.
And listen, I don't want to be quiet as it's kept. I want to be loudly and proudly who I am, and and people
Mm.
respect me for it. And so I think, yeah, I think I've always strived for it and strived to put. And like walk the walk and talk the talk at the same time.
Yeah,
Put what
real.
I say
Mhm.
into action in that way. But it also has been hard because then also when you pursue activism for one thing, people then expect you. I think
Always,
I've had a hard
yeah.
time dealing with expectations of others. I do one thing and they expect me to do more things or something beyond that, and it's been
Mhm.
hard because I haven't always I haven't always known how to have a healthy relationship with people's expectations of what I should do. And I think this sets up
Yeah,
right a perfect
real.
segue into talking about the issues
Mhm.
resentments that people have towards activists for for things like that, for making a livable wage, right? Like sometimes I don't know if people expect activists to be
Not you with
poor.
this list.
Girl, I got things to say, baby. Okay, things to say. I don't know if people expect activists to be poor, or if there's a line in which right the paradigm shifts too much.
I'm
Look,
sorry.
you think I'm
I
the list,
see you being
girl?
so serious, but guys, when I opened, I
You,
said, you came in with bullet points. Mama said, "Oh, I'm gonna say this shit this
I'm gonna
week.
be succinct.
Put it
Keep it
on." So
tight,
yes,
baby.
yes,
Okay.
yes. I just
Be
that
like, I
made me
think.
laugh.
I really think about like, is there a line in which the paradigm shifts too much, right? Like, at what
Right.
point do people like? Because this is my point about expectations. We expect people to be activists and fight to the death, even if it means their own
Mm.
death.
Mhm.
And
Mhm.
and for a while, I believed that. For a while, I believed I will fight until my last breath until I'm dead. But
Mm.
then I realized, girl, I might
You
die
don't
way
need to die
early.
though. I said,
Oh,
I'm
I
not
might,
gonna die for no. I'm
I might
sorry.
die
I'm
way
not. I'm
early
not
to
doing
do
it. I'm
that.
not dying for
And
nobody.
truly,
No.
we treat activists like shit, whether they're alive or dead. And
Real. Say that.
I'm not here for that, right? Like I'm not
Mhm.
trying. I'm not. I like the ones that the only very few activists, right? Like in the grand scheme of activism work,
Yeah.
only very few do we actually celebrate in their death and still
It's
hold
like
their
4.
words,
Yeah.
right?
It's
And
like 4
even
of them. Yeah.
and even then, right, like we hold the words but we don't do anything with it. And
Right.
I
Right.
like I want to be here to do stuff with my own words and
Yeah.
not have people do things for me in that way.
Mhm. Mhm.
I also, I think there's a resentment when people who are activists start to but right, they decide to not kill themselves for their work
Mhm.
and like live. And
Yeah.
some, I will say, like some live lavishly and some do not, right?
Right.
And I wonder, right, if there's a sense of betrayal when activists begin to make
'Cause you
money.
quote unquote sold out. Yeah.
Right.
Mhm.
Like,
Mhm.
and I wonder, like, what's the line, right? Like, is it that you are buying your own house for once, or that you bought 3 houses?
Yeah.
Is it,
Well,
is it that you're whipping a Honda, or you're whipping the Lambo, right? Like,
right.
is it you are an activist only online where you get paid by brand partnerships, or are you saying I'm willing to get myself arrested for something, right?
Mhm. Mhm.
So I think those are, I have some of those questions. I also have the question of, like, at what point does the work become unlivable itself, right? Like,
Mhm.
we
Mhm.
expect so much of activists. We expect them to harm themselves, to to give up the material possessions,
Yep.
right? And I think as activists, we have to ask ourselves, at what point does work become unlivable? At what point does it become unsustainable?
Mhm.
Because I think for me, right, I recognize early on that I like one, my parents did not go through all the bullshit they went through,
Mhm.
so I can end up in the circumstances that they had when they were kids,
Right.
right?
Right.
Like, and I know that I've been put on this earth in some way to try and change something in the world, whatever that is.
Mhm.
But I know I can't do that if I am
Home
like
houseless, real.
if I
Right.
am unhoused,
Yeah.
or
Uh-huh.
if I'm experiencing a mental health crisis, right?
Correct.
So, like, at some point, I had to draw a line and say, like, I can't rake myself for the work, because because if it's unlivable, then I can't do the work either.
That's the thing.
Um,
That's it.
and also sometimes our activism changes.
Yeah.
And I wish we gave some grace to that for people. I wish we gave people more understanding that sometimes, like, what we fight for changes as we grow.
Right.
What we fight for may shift for better and sometimes for worse. There are
Mm.
many activists who, like, right, like we agree with them for X amount of things, and then the one thing we disagree with them on, we then
Throw
also
them
like undermine their work, and I'm like, they
Mhm.
still did really great work, right? And like, and I pray that I'm not that person. Like, I pray that I'm a person that people always feel aligned with. But I also know I can't sit here and hate somebody for my misalignment now. I can say, listen, we're not aligned today, girl, and that's okay. But I still praise you for the things that you did.
Right.
Because at the end of the day, like, they still open doors, and I
Mhm.
think people often question when it comes to right, I think a lot about it was between ooh, it was between I think it was between Bell Hooks and Audre Lorde. I honestly forget what this it was like, no, who was it between? Someone I know someone will tell me.
Mm.
It may have been between Alice Walker and but, like, there was a point in time where, like,
Yeah.
right, like, some of our biggest Black feminist theory folks, um, were combating each other, right? Like,
Yeah.
like, when
Well,
one of it
I
was
mean, not to cut you off, but I think about that clip with James Baldwin. There's a clip with James Baldwin where he's being interviewed, and the person is like pushing back against his thoughts. And so I don't know if
mm.
that's what you're referring to, but I
No,
do
no, no,
know.
no.
Okay.
It's like I don't have it somewhere in one of my books, but like,
Okay.
there's a moment in time where there was two authors or two writers that
Were
were
they subbing each other in the book?
basically, but one over the other, because
Yeah.
and it was about their view on Israel Palestine, which was really interesting to me.
Oh, okay.
Um,
Even in the
and like
80s,
and
child? My God.
girl, no, it
Yeah, it's
was
been a
it
minute. Yeah.
And it was I know I pray someone if someone listens to this and they know what it is, please
Yeah,
remind me.
please write us tell us.
But like, right, it then became a question of what's the activist ethics and morals.
Mhm.
And I think those are fair questions, but I also ask the question to people who want to hold the standard up. What is ethical about our activists not surviving?
Mm.
Like,
Mm.
that's what my question is to
That's a
us as
really good
people,
question. That's a
because
yeah,
I don't know how much more I can enforce or uphold somebody into them not surviving anymore to do the work that they want to do
right.
or that they're meant to do.
Mhm.
Right? Like, we actually have to negotiate. Like, try it. People may tell me this is wrong. That's totally fine, and I can work with that. But like, we actually have to negotiate sometimes. We have to figure out the ways in which, okay,
Mhm.
maybe I don't follow you on this path, but I'll follow you on this path.
Right.
And I'm not going to like deter from what you've done,
Yeah.
or or make sure that you fail,
Mhm.
because it's just it's an impossible standard.
Yeah.
But on the other hand, right, there are people who ID as activists but really are not, right? Like I'm thinking a lot about when we had when we had Tyree told you, right, talk about beg talk,
Yeah.
and like, right, and people who also had ID, right, and right
Mhm.
as activists in this way, but how she haven't done good work. Like,
Yeah.
I hate to say it, but like, what's his name? Ace Boone, Sean, what's his name? Sean, what was it?
Sean King. Sean
Sean
King.
King,
Yeah.
Sean
Yes.
King,
Yeah.
like,
Yeah. So not to
go,
cut
yeah,
you off, but I was
no,
gonna say,
please.
I think so that's the thing that actually gets me because I think and so I always say this, real recognizes real. And I try. I will say this. I try to be a good person. I try to do good work. People will come back to me and say, John is doing this, John is doing that, Jordan is doing this. Like there's a fine line between being a con artist and being an activist. And I think that those lines sometimes get
Oh,
blurred. I'm just
well,
saying they do. And I think
okay,
some people use activism to be con artists, a la Sean King. And I think that's the
okay.
reason why people are so, I wouldn't say skeptical, but I think why people have their eyes so kind of like set on, we got to watch that activist because there are activists like him. I also will even say, I think Umar Johnson. So I'll say it this way: I don't want to call them a scammer because I don't want them coming after us, right? Allegedly, right? They have allegedly scammed people. They have allegedly been involved with scams. I'll say it that way. There are people who have been impacted by them, and so I think that's what has made so many people super apprehensive to this idea of why is that activist living in this multi-million dollar home if they're quote unquote an activist. And it's like, well, this activist partnered with, or even, I'll use Patrice as a great example. A lot of people thought, oh, well, Patrice Cullors took the money from Black Lives Matter and bought her home. And it was like,
Mhm.
actually, no, she didn't. She got a pretty hefty funding money, whatever you want to call it, a donation. I don't know what it was called, but she was working with Warner Brothers at the time that they gave that she bought her
Mhm.
home. So it's not saying that we need to be in Patrice's business, but the reality of the matter is that I think a lot of people make assumptions about folks that are doing quote unquote this work because of all of the things that have happened. And I think more than that, there's something more for us to dive in here, thinking about all the historical factors that contribute to the expectation or the desires that folks that are activists have to quote unquote stay poor. And I'm saying quote unquote a lot because these are all notions and factions and things that I have had conversations with other people about when we're talking about who's paid and who's unpaid. And I will say this, when people bring me in, it's because I have a consulting business. Dr. John Paul is a business. I have used, yes, my platform to act to be an activist about Black, fat, and queer issues. But when people bring me in, they are paying my business, right? My business is a part of what pays my bills. So I think there's this schematic thing that, oh, well, you're only showing up when you get paid. And it's like, actually, no, because there are a lot of things I do that I don't get paid for. That oftentimes people are like, can you just come in and do this because we really need your help? And so I balance
Mhm.
out okay, I get this really big check from this company with
Mhm.
this other place telling me we ain't got no money. Can you help us? Right. Like those are the balances. But I think that there's a lot to be said about power and privilege and how folks want power and privilege, and how people
Mhm.
want privilege over liberation. And quite as it's kept, liberation comes with being able to pay your bills. And more than that, hope. You
Okay.
you cannot pay your bills on hope. And so I think there's this whole faction of, well, you have to be in the true trenches. Like I'm like, and I feel I'm trying to be cautious about how I say stuff because I don't want to get canceled. But I'm going like, well, who can cancel me really? But I'm saying like,
Don't do it. Don't do it. That's a slippery slope, my girl. Slippery slope. Okay. Kanye's the same
I'm
thing.
just
And look
kidding.
what happened
I'm
to
just
him.
kidding. Right. I'm just joking. What I'm trying to really say in this moment is, you know, Dr. Martin Luther King had a home and he went home to his wife, right? He deserved to have a place that he could rest. He deserved to have a place after those long days of him doing what he did to say, I can care for my children. I can
Mhm.
put food on the table, right? And I think that's the thing. I think we've lost. I'm kind of getting off script here. I think we've gotten lost in seeing the humanity and the folks who are out here putting their lives on the
Mm.
line. And
Mhm.
I think that for me is where it stops, because this is the thing for me. When I see Imma shout them out because I love them. When I see Dominique Morgan with the Louis Vuitton bag, I don't care because in my heart,
No,
I
it's a good
know
question I have. Like,
I don't
no, it's like,
care. My
yeah.
thing is Dominique Morgan is doing okay. That makes me happy as another person who is tangentially doing the same thing Dominique Morgan is doing, right? I'm speaking and I'm traveling and I'm doing all of these things and I'm working with organizations and I'm helping people build brands. Like I'm doing exactly what she's doing. So why am I mad at Dominique Morgan? So the question becomes, are you mad at the activists because they're doing better than you? That's the thing. That's the question I want to ask. Because that's what it feels like to me. It feels like to me that there is this thing of kind of us going back to this whole notion. And again, I've always said this: crabs in the barrel, and people being mad at, we're crabs in the barrel mentality. Well, why are the crabs in the barrel in the first fucking place? That's the question we need to start with. Crabs belong in the ocean. But my biggest thing becomes: are you upset that your fellow activist is doing better than you? Or are you has a platform that you don't have? Because I could sit here for days and I could throw a whole bunch of stones at a whole bunch of other trans girls who I know are doing much better than me, right? I know or have bigger followings. But my biggest thing is at the end of the night for me, I love knowing that they're okay. I want Hope Giselle to have a good life. I want Angelica Ross to be able to pay her mortgage. I want Dominique Morgan to be able to have more Louis Vuitton bags. Like, I don't care. For me, it's the work that they're doing is more important to me than me trying to check their pockets. And so, yeah, I liberation to me is more than having to do a GoFundMe to pay your bills. I think
Mhm.
people. I truly think people like knowing that they are above having to march or yell for equal treatment. And yeah, it really is something that really, I guess, kind of getting into this combo. I don't know if I'm going all over the place, but it's just I really have a hard time and a problem with us looking at quote unquote activists as if they have to be in the trenches all the time. Like, yes, be in the trenches with us, but you don't have to stay there. And that's the thing that I guess I was trying to get at with this question or slash with this topic.
I also think that I think our perception of activism and activists shifted a lot with the rise of social media
Yeah.
because also, right, like, it was my point about like the ones that we laud so much,
Hmm.
the ones that we know or follow these days.
Yeah.
But like, there are many activists who don't have social media,
Hmm.
right? Like right, or
Or
don't
got
have
off of it. Yeah.
10K plus followers because it's not about like it's not actually about the followers,
Hmm.
right? Like, I think I think like for me, I'll say there was a period of time where I was like, I need to have more followers, and people were like, oh, the, like, it was a moment where like if I wanted to have more, I could have more because because I know the things to do that, but like I don't want to do those things, and
Fair.
right, and truthfully, like my number of followers hasn't like my stats never really has not determined with the work that I do
Yeah.
whatsoever.
Yeah.
I think there's some ways in which it can, and I don't think it's bad that that does or can, right? Like I think I think there is something to say about people who have strong followings and do good work with those followings.
Mhm.
But I also want to be mindful of like not everyone with a high following is also an activist. Like there are some people who just run their mouths online.
Well,
I'm not saying that the ones we mentioned are those folks like Hope Giselle, Angelica Ross, Dominique Morgan, T.S. Madison. Like those are folks who actually really do good work. And so, but like I want to say that sometimes I want people to maybe think a bit more critically about about the numbers tell a different story than the person actually tells.
mhm, mhm.
And like what's the story that the person is telling versus the story that the number is telling, right? Like Sean King's a good example of the numbers tell a different story.
Right,
But
right,
like too many people have said, I actually don't know what he's done.
right,
I actually don't.
right.
I actually haven't seen him do the thing he says he's gonna do. right?
Down
And
to the
so
shirts he said he was gonna sell.
like,
I'm here to report facts, that's all.
I mean, listen, I have purchased many a merch from activists, right, to support their work.
Uh-huh.
Never got the merch. Never got the merch. I'm not gonna sit here and be like, I didn't get my mug from that bitch. I mean, I didn't get
Yeah.
my mug from the bitch, but like whatever, right?
Right.
And right, instead, I just said, know what? Not like now I know that I just don't. I
Yeah. I just won't
like
buy
you know
anything else from
like
them. Yeah.
like what? Well, I always remember when what Dominique Morgan said on our show when we did this. We need to have her back on, honestly. But I remember all the time when she was like, "I can I can love and respect you from afar."
Right.
Okay,
Yes.
I love you. I love you. I love you from over there.
Yeah.
Don't come here. So that's one thing I'm thinking about. I'm also thinking about, and like I know you had a point in the show flow about people people who have to like march or yell for equal treatment, and it gets
Mhm.
me thinking about like how often the undervaluation of activists really
Yeah.
impacts the movement.
Yep.
Right, like the undervaluation or underpayment or
Mhm.
underestimation of activists, both from external and internal forces, but also the question sometimes of like who is it that undervalues and underpays the activists as well too, right?
Well,
Is it like, because sometimes is it the people that are hiring us, or is it the movement itself? And or is it both? Right? I have so many more questions that have
I'm with
responses.
you when you're
No,
right to go off.
like I have so many more questions that they have responses. Some
Yes.
mostly, but I'm always really critical about that. Like
Mhm.
because when we look to right, because when people look to deplatform people, it's usually from those from within the movement,
Yep.
and there are times where deplatforming is a good call and makes sense, and there are times where sometimes I'm like, we want to deplatform this person
Mhm.
and all their work, because of this mess up that they are striving to show accountability for, um, and so and it's like they're not a human, like they can't
That
make a human
that is my
error.
point. That is my
Right?
point. When
And
I
so,
s
like
Yeah, the
and
humanity.
yeah, like, you can make a human
Mhm.
error and it right, and so then, like, we begin to then undervalue or devalue
Yep.
them and their work, and I think we sometimes are actually guilty of that too.
Mhm.
Um, and again, like, I think there are times in which it really is fair to do so,
Yeah.
but I don't know, in which I think it also goes back to a conversation with Tyreek, right, about, like, about cancel culture and canceling others.
Mm.
Um, I know I'll just say until the cows come home or until I turn blue in the face, whatever that statement is, that phrase is. But like I
Mhm.
just know that there is such good work happening and people will mess up.
Yeah.
And I think on one hand, right, those who mess up, the ones who acknowledge that they mess up and say, I commit to doing better and do better, right? Those are the ones that I really rock with. The ones that mess up and don't acknowledge that they mess up, or like go silent or don't say anything about their mess up, or don't
Mhm. Are the ones
clarify
that
something,
sketch.
right?
Uh-huh.
Sometimes I'm a little suspect of like, but my point is that there's always been a negotiation of I don't want to take what's happening at face value. I want to know more. I want to get as best as I can to the full story so before I make a decision that could end up like harming somebody else,
Mhm.
right? Like we when w- it's like we feel harmed by someone's shift in action, and I hear and I know that that is an uncomfortable feeling,
Mhm.
but we take that harm and then we harm that person in return.
Mhm.
And I don't wanna participate in a cycle of harm in that way.
Yeah.
I
And
would
a lot
rather
of
be
times, not to cut you off, but a lot of times that harm is trying to take opportunities out of other people's mouths. And I think that's the thing I'm really trying to get at with this conversation. Like to your point, we're doing in a lot of ways, just the conversations I've been in, the spaces I've been in. I hear what you're saying. It's a cycle. It's a
Mhm,
cycle of perpetual harm that we're constantly doing to one another, right? The same way that the world is treating us as black and queer and fat and all of that people and trying to take money and opportunity out of our pockets and our mouths, we do that to ourselves within the activist movement. And I'm going, girl, why? What do you garner from trying to,
mhm,
you know what I mean? I think
yeah,
that's the thing I've been thinking a lot about. I'm gonna keep saying this. was happy when I saw Patrice buy her home. I'm happy when I hear folks like Dominique and Angelica say, "Oh, I just put a bid in for this X, Y, and Z." Yes. Yes. Like why are we so caught? Because and then at the end of the day, I know they're doing good stuff in the background with what they're
Hmm.
doing. So I just, I hear you, but I think just this harm on top of harm, it's something I've been thinking a lot about, and I
Yeah.
think you hit the nail on the head with that. Yeah. I was gonna say, I would love to ask you to think about, the statement being labeled as an activist in your work. I mean, you have a whole ass brick award to prove it. Um, I guess the last question I really do want to ask. Yeah,
And
girl,
do,
show the
and do,
dog.
baby.
Mama
And do,
said, and
baby.
one thing
Okay.
about me is I have a brick to throw.
From
Um,
Stonewall itself, baby.
Yes,
Okay.
yes, she has a
Period.
Stonewall brick. I was gonna ask you, do to kind of close this convo out, do you think you've been underpaid in your work or had to think about not taking money to do something? And how has it impacted your mental health? Because I think that's the other thing that, and I know we could spend a whole hour talking about the mental health of activists and the idea of how much of that is livelihood, and how it impacts. I mean, I know Babe, but when we
Mhm.
had Babe, what's their last name?
Bay
Bay
Davis.
Davis. When we had Bay Davis on, they talked a lot about that, right? This idea of like livelihood connecting to mental health and being an activist. But I would
Mhm.
love to know, I think about it a lot specifically for me, not because I am a capitalist, but because I know certain people and orgs have gotten over on me because I do good work. I struggle a lot with that, and I will say, as we've had this conversation, I have had to do a lot of, I was doing a lot of internal I was doing a lot of internal thought while I was putting this show flow together, because I know people see me, and I know that people see that I have a certain narrative around me, right? Like, I drive a nice car. I do drive a Lexus, and I'm proud to say I drive a Lexus. Like, I am always in a Louis Vuitton bag. That is just who I am by trade. I will pay for to upgrade to get in first class. Like, that is a part of who I am. But I say that to say I do that for me because I come from a place where I never had it. I never, I come from a place of constantly always having to struggle, and now I'm in a place of I'm not going to struggle if I'm out here already struggling. Like, that's where my head is. My head is that in my day to day I'm already fighting for everything else, just for the world to give me the respect and the love and the autonomy and all the things that I deserve. Why do I have to struggle in the midst of that too? And that's what I feel like activists should be saying to themselves. If I'm already fighting for liberation day in and day out, why can't I make my life just a little bit more comfortable? Why can't I just be a little bit more happier? That's just kind of where I'm at. But what about you? I don't know. I know that was a very long way of me asking you that question.
Well, first, I want to do away with the idea that just because someone expresses luxury in their lives doesn't mean that they don't care about the work anymore. Like,
Mm.
I really want to do with the idea. Like, I want people to stop thinking because you see so and so in first class, driving X car with X thing, splurging on their vacation, like that to me, like when I see those things, my thought isn't like, "How dare this bitch go on this luxurious vacation," rather than do that post that they do about
Mhm.
about rights. Like,
Mhm.
that's not what I'm thinking.
Right.
Um, I think everyone deserves to spoil themselves how they want to, right? My lens of liberation is that people have the resources and tools to spoil themselves as best as they can, as much as they want to, however they want to.
Real,
So
real.
I want to do away with that idea. I mean, I'm sure there might be a point where I'm sure there might be a point where I'm like, girl, like, you're being too bougie right now, calm down,
I
right?
mean, and
And
I think there's a
like, but
fine line between wanting nice things and then also being a true, like, the LA of it all. And that's what I struggle with. But I think there's a fine line between being a doll who likes a cute bag versus being super problematic and saying, I don't care. I'm gonna drive this Tesla because it's cute. You know what I mean?
yeah,
So
yeah,
yeah, I get what you're saying.
and I think it also comes down to what people's like viewpoints and visions of like material things are, right? Like, to your point, like, you're someone who grew up not thinking that they'd ever have it. So, like,
Mhm.
To me, it makes perfect sense to say like, yeah, bitch, I got it, and I'm gonna flaunt it, right?
Mm,
Whereas, like
well,
growing
yeah.
up, the like the the privilege I had was like I had a parent who was able to like afford those things for herself, right? Like
Mhm.
my mom had like a Louis, she had like one Louis bag or something, or she had insert bag here, right? Like I honestly have no idea. I know that she whenever we walked by a place, she was like, "Don't go inside there; it's too expensive." But like, I know
Right.
she had nice things, right? And so like I know, like I like our material desires go into different things, right?
Right.
So I want to do with the idea that materialism impact someone's work.
Mm.
I know you had a question about like being able to as an activist in my work. Do I think I'm being underpaid in the work? Well, I'm not paid at all in that work, so that
Okay.
answers that question, girl. Like I
Right.
don't get
Well,
paid
there it is.
for my activism.
Same. Mhm.
Like I'm not. I mean, well, I've booked some things here and there, but I do a lot of things for free. But I do a lot of things for free because I have a full time job that I like a lot, that I do good work in, which I mean, and that job in a way is an expression of my activism as well, right? Like
Right.
my job focuses really on redistribution of wealth for communities of color, and
Mhm.
focuses on like helping uplift communities of color. So like my work is an expression of activism in some ways. Like a lot of things I've done or do isn't like it's not in service of the check in the first place. It's in service of the people that I
Real.
want to serve. And so yeah, so money. I'm grateful and privileged that money doesn't how it to be a conversation of things that I do or things I'm asked to do for my activism.
Right.
Because I have the privilege of having a job and a podcast that I'm paid for. Right.
Mhm.
That said, if that were to change, right, if I lost my job or the podcast, I might have to start being like, girl, I'm so sorry, beloved, but I can't do it for free for the fourth year in a row. I need to charge you a speaker fee, right?
Yep.
Do I have a speaker fee? Yes. Do I have a rate? Yes. One of the best lessons I received when I was in school is that once someone goes up on your rate, that's your new rate, girl. And so I'm like, period. So like I used to do shit for I used to do shit for like $50. Now I do stuff for much more than $50 if I right if they offer engagement. And I will also say,
Mhm.
if someone's like, "What's your rate?" Hey, this is my rate. I'm happy to work with you on this as well too. Like knowing that you may have a nominal budget or a limited budget. And sometimes you're like, "Hey, this is my rate. I'd love to get as close as this as possible." Sometimes surprise you and say, "That's really cute. We'll give you more than that anyways." Or someone say, "We appreciate you so much," right? And so I think that's kind of how I've navigated, and I
Mhm.
think it
Mhm.
doesn't impact my mental health in that way, only because again, I have like I feel I wouldn't say financially secure. Like, if I lost my job tomorrow, I maybe have 2 months of rent saved up, right?
Right.
Like maybe three, and that's if that means if like I am staying home, I'm not going anywhere, I'm not leaving my house, I am I am buying top ramen. Like I have rent covered for 3 months, right?
Right.
So like I'm not financially, I don't say financially secure, but like I'm somewhat stable. I'm trying to get to a place where I am more secure than that. But I also have a lot of debt. So if I lose my job, and then
Girl, I'm right there with you,
girl,
honey. I got them
she
student
actually might
loan
be on
payments.
she actually
Mhm.
might be unhoused when she pays off that debt.
You'll never be
Um,
unhoused here, baby, but
okay.
I hear what you're
Thank
saying.
thank you,
Yeah.
thank you, thank you.
Mhm.
And I think my mental health, I think what impacts me more my mental health in terms of in this conversation is really like just how I have to manage people's expectations of how I show up,
Right.
and whether or not that day I want to meet them, or sorry,
Mm,
like meet
mhm.
the expectation, right?
I feel
Exactly.
that. I feel that.
I think I think that's what I like struggle the most with is
Mhm.
I because I also want to meet my own expectations, and those are not always the same as other people's expectations.
Yeah.
And respectfully, what matters more to me of the day is my expectations, not like other people's, right?
Mhm.
I don't live to serve what other people's thoughts are. I live to serve what I think is right, and I live to be accountable to it, right?
Mhm.
Like my like purpose in life isn't to say I must do what everyone expects of me.
Right.
Yeah, it was a long-winded answer.
No,
I'll just
I
say,
think this is a very and listener, I know you're probably like, oh my gosh, this segment is so long, but I think it's important for us to have this convo because we haven't. I think what you're hearing is a buildup of us talking around this topic for so long, and us finally sitting down and saying we need to kind of have a sister to sister talk about the ways. And again, because the reality is when I started this podcast, I knew that there was going to be a lot of activist related content that was going to come
yeah,
out the show. We do a lot of fun content, but we also do a lot of activists. And I still think there is, there are some folks who have turned their nose up to both of us because they're like, well, you shouldn't be getting paid if you're doing good work. And it's like, no, like I said, I'm going to stick to it, and I'm going to keep saying it. I want
yeah.
activists to have, not to just make a living, but to have a living. I want them to be able to buy homes, buy cars, buy bags, go on vacation, but they can
Yeah,
also still be out in the fight. Yes.
I just wanna be, like, really direct to you right now, John.
Yeah.
Like, as your friend, as your sister, I don't care that like, you driving a Lexus, you getting your Labubu's, right?
Okay. Drag me on the
No, 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 no,
Labubus,
no,
but
no, no,
go
no, no,
off.
no, 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 listen, Linda, listen, Linda. What I'm saying is, like,
I hate you. Yeah.
I don't see that shit, and I'm like, "Oh, John is some bougie ass bitch who doesn't wanna do the fucking work," right?
Mm, mm-hmm.
You every day your work is about helping queer youth live.
Mm-hmm.
That's important to me, right?
Yeah.
Right, you want to create an entire universe for black fat femmes in the world. That's
Mm-hmm.
important to me. So, I want to be direct in saying, to me, fuck anybody who is like, you have a Lexus, you have these things, okay,
Yeah.
and
Yeah.
because
I
right,
got the debt with it too,
the, that part, okay, because the car
because I
note,
still owe
car note,
$28,000
okay,
on it.
listen, baby, but for real, I never want to look at somebody and think, oh, they have
Yeah.
XYZ.
Uh-huh.
They're a sellout because they have XYZ.
Right.
That just isn't my MO for me.
Mhm.
And the hill I'll die on, right? Or while standing on business for is like, I want you to have whatever the fuck you want because you deserve it inherently.
Yeah.
You deserve it inherently by being who the fuck you are in this world.
Yeah.
What matters to me is what you do with the work that you do, and you do great things, and you
Thank you.
deserve so many things. Like, you do,
Mhm.
truly, you deserve so many things, right? Like, what you texted me about yesterday, you deserve the thing that you
Mhm.
didn't get. And I believe that with my full chest.
Mhm.
You deserve that. And I'm sad and mad that you did not get that thing.
It is what
Right?
it is.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yes, but I don't care about the material things, right?
Mhm. Mhm.
Yeah, I just that that's what I'm trying to say is,
I hear you.
I
I
don't
hear
want
you.
people to care about that either. I don't
Yeah.
want them to look at that whether you drive a '95 Pinto or
Well, baby,
a
the
20.
Pinto was you mean a '95 Nissan Sentra or something? Because the
This is
Pinto
my
went out
point.
of
I
business.
don't fucking know. Listen, whether you drive a Pinto period or a brand
I know what you
or
mean. I know what you mean.
or whipping the Mozzie, right?
Yes. Ooh, Mazda. I love a
All
Mazda,
that,
girl.
all
Yeah.
that has no effect on whether or not
Real.
you do good work in the world.
That's real, and I
Now
love
you
that.
schooled me about when the
Yeah,
Pinto was out,
well,
baby.
baby, now wait a second. Now the
Before my time,
Pinto,
regardless.
it is a little bit before your time. The Pinto literally was discontinued in the early
When was it?
'90s.
When was discontinued? Oh, you're
Yeah,
right. It was a Ford. I
yeah.
had no. Oh, they were
Ford Pinto.
cute.
Oh, and I
Oh, they
think my
were
mama had one.
cute.
Oh, shout out to
1980,
my
bitch. I
girl
was so off.
Daryl. She knows.
Okay, a 1976 Pinto, baby. Okay,
Oh,
or
my
the
mama
the
had one.
Bobcat.
Oh, and it used to smoke. Oh, it
Ooh,
was so
she was
loud. Oh, but
cute.
anyway, yes, let's move. Let us move on. Now that we have learned all the words to Asada Shakur's chant, we have nothing to
Mm,
lose but our chains.
chains, baby.
Yes,
Yes.
and I plan to stand outside my HR department and scream, "Give me the money." We're gonna, we're gonna,
Please.
bitch. Let's go take a break. We'll be back in a second.
Okay, family, we are back, and I know y'all tired of hearing me on this. I know people are like, Joe got a lot to say today. Like usually I'm cool, calm, collected. She says just enough, but this episode, I'm sure people are like, God damn, girl, shut the fuck up. But I won't because it's our show. This week we're gonna get into some interesting conversation. We've been seeing we've been seeing online about the artist Kehlani, my girl.
Mm-hmm.
Whew, so there's some discourse in Black threads about Kehlani being the face of R&B right now. This is for
Mm.
What's Poppin' segment, right? So we can pop culture. Her being the face or not being the face. And then conversations of colorism came in,
Ooh,
and threads begin to unravel in discussing who is or isn't the face of R&B,
of
etc. And I'm
course.
curious if you have thoughts. So for me, what I'll say is like one, I'm trying to be objective. Kehlani has been singing for more than a decade, has
Mm-hmm.
been doing R&B since her mixtapes, and has always been giving credit where credit is due for R&B. For example, the with the folded song and the homage pack that she dropped,
Right.
right, with features from Mario, Tony Braxton, Neo, JoJo, Brandy, and Tank, was exactly about honoring those who paved the way,
Mm.
right? Like
Mm-hmm.
she didn't drop a song and then was like, "That's R&B, I'm out." Right? She said a song and people were like, "Ooh, I want to get on this," and she said, "Let's do a whole EP, like right with folks who also represent R&B for her."
Right.
And so so I was a little pressed to see the discourse
Mm.
around this because I think she does deserve some recognition, and she also has not called herself the face of R&B
Right.
at all.
Right.
But also people are like, yes, not that I disagree with colorism at all. Like I'm like, colorism is
Yeah.
real.
Right.
Trust me,
It's a thing.
it's a thing. But I feel like it was being made about something that it wasn't in that way.
Mm.
Um, versus like her just having good music that had just come out. And I get that people and I get that and that there's I'm here for critique when it's rooted in critique, not when it's rooted in like your own preference for music.
Right. Right.
like
Right.
I know some people were like, this is this is like problematic, but really the reason was that the song don't speak to them. That's totally fine.
Right.
But
That's me.
I'm
Her
yeah.
is it her there? I just want to check their pronouns right.
They she they.
She they.
So
Okay, yeah.
she they
So
her.
her music doesn't necessarily speak to me, but the songs I do know from her, I like. I will say that, but I'm also in the mind of, so this is my take on all of this is, everyone's in this whole mind of what's R&B and what's not. My biggest thing is, R&B is made of maybe two or three ingredients. One of the number, so the first thing is always going to be the sound, right? Is it the
Mhm.
sound? Is it giving a certain energy? Is it giving a certain vibe?
Je
Because
ne
we know
sais
R&B
quoi.
is a side. Is it je ne sais quoi? Yeah, and she's there.
Oui, oui.
Kaylani
Oui,
gives it,
oui.
right?
Mhm.
The other part is love. Usually, the core root of any R&B song is either about losing love or finding love. And a lot of her songs are about that, whether it be for herself or whether it be for someone else, or what she's had to go through in order to get through whatever situation she have. But also begging. Are you begging for something? And I think that's the thing that only matters to me. We got to go back to begging. I need people. That's why R&B for me has been lost, because people are not begging enough. If you talk about Keith Sweat, he begged. Every song was him begging about something. He wanted something
Mm.
from someone.
Mhm.
If you think about Babyface, he was begging. Every
Okay.
time I close my eyes, I thank the Lord I
Mhm.
found you. He was begging. Tony Braxton said, "There's no me without you." That is what true R&B is. And so I think we need to get away from the whole conversation of what's R&B and what's not, and just really get back to this notion of what's good music. I think, are you making good, whether it be R&B, pop, crossover? Because there are a lot of people who say Brandy's music is not R&B, and when people say that, I look at them and I go, "Have you not listened to any of the other songs on Full Moon? Were you
Mhm.
not there with Aphrodisiac? Did you
Ooh,
listen to 211? Did you
ooh.
even did you even entertain B7? Because that's R&B. Yeah, yeah, she has a couple of songs that are hits that were crossovers for pop and R&B, but Brandy is an R&B artist. And so it's
Mm.
so I need people to do the work. I just need them to do the work.
Okay, so do you have some faces of R&B you might think of today?
The faces of R&B that I think of for today. So the thing is I don't listen to anybody from today. I really don't. Most of my I mean, if it's not Beyonce, I don't know.
Mm,
Who am I listening to? You know who I would say yes to? And a lot of people know this about me is the Shandellas. I'm a huge Shandella fan.
mm,
I think that they are that actually makes me think I'm gonna put that album on while I go run these errands later. Their albums, I think that they are, in my opinion, the face of R&B that I wish groups, women groups specifically, could go back to. I think Flow, even though they give a little bit of pop, I still think that
mhm.
they give true R&B. Like the song they did with Missy, in my opinion, was a true R&B bop. Who else? What are the other dolls? I still who else is still putting music out? Who who do we know?
No, what? Summer Walker just
See,
dropped a
I
new
can't
album.
get
If you don't
into
listen,
Summer Walker like that. No shade. Her music
yeah,
is not
yeah,
for
yeah.
me. Her music are for people who drive Altimas, and that's just not me. I just I can't get into her music. I
You're a
just
punk ass.
can't.
You're a punk ass for
I
saying
can't.
that.
It's
You're
true.
a punk ass for
It's
saying that.
true.
Who
Summer
drive
Walker makes
Altima?
music for people who drives Nissan Sentras and Altimas.
Not the
I don't.
Sentras. Don't get twisted. It's not the
Yes.
Sentra. Altima only, not the Sentra though.
So
Don't
okay,
do my people like
so
that.
I'm looking at a list on my computer here. Let's go through some quick names. We
Okay.
got Ella May, who I think is cute.
Yeah.
Leon
Okay. Yeah. Yeah.
Leon Thomas. I
Yeah.
give them the yes because Mutt is cute. I do like that
It's
song.
cute. It's cute.
I don't know who Mariah the Scientist is, but I know a lot of people mention
Yes.
her.
Yep. 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 Yeah.
And
I
then
see it.
Kali Uchis. Is that the
Oh
right way to
yes,
say it?
Kali Uchi. So, I
Or
think she's
or would they
yes.
be pop?
I think she's crossover though because I think
Okay.
well she also has Spanish albums too. I
Okay.
think like she's like Spanish R&B, like English R&B, pop. Like yeah, but I I would agree, but not R&B. That's like not R&B in the yearning sense. Like
Okay.
R&B just in the like technical sense. I think
Okay. We got Coco Jones. I would give
yes,
them the R&B moniker and say
yes,
that they're making good
yes,
R&B music. Even though I don't
yes,
listen to their music all the time, I still know who
yes.
they are and I do know some of their songs. I was Giveon. Is that how you say their name?
Giveon, yes, yes, yes,
Okay.
yes, yes, yes. I
Giveon,
see it.
I
I
know.
see
And
it.
then I think I'll say two more. I would say Olivia Dean is doing it for me. I think
Well,
Olivia
let me
Dean,
okay. Olivia Dean, her new album does eat. I think people will struggle. I think one because she's a UK artist, but I
she's
think
still
I
R&B.
I would say she's R&B still. Yeah,
Yeah, and she's still
Mon-
R&B.
Money Long, I think is R&B
Money
as
Long.
well.
Okay. Now wait. Okay. Can we talk about Money Long real quick?
My girl.
Um, I I wish. I think I'm gonna get in trouble for saying this. I wish she would lip sing more, and I say this with love. I think she sounds great on records. I
The
saw
studio
her
is different. The
live.
studio is different than the
I
yes.
I think that she should lip sync
Heard,
more. But
heard.
anyway, but I do the songs that I have heard from her. There's two songs that she has that I adore. It's that one song where she in the video she's crying and she
Mm.
talks about the man. I don't know the words to it, but
Baby, you ruined
yeah,
me,
You
ruined.
ruined
Yeah.
me, and then the Hours and Hours song is one
Oh,
I
ooh,
love. I love the Hours and Hours song.
ooh,
Yes, and I
ooh,
definitely love the
ooh.
Ruin Me is another song Imma have to queue up because that song goes
Hours
off.
and hours.
And then I
Okay.
also wanna shout out, I definitely think Halle and Chloe are making good
Chloe
R&B
Halle.
music, and I think that we need to give more love, to Tim's, who I don't think now lastly, what is your thoughts on Tyla? Do we think Tyla's R&B or no? Oh, Normani. Normani too. I want to shout her out. I love Normani as I'm a
I
huge
think
Normani fan. But let's go
Tyla.
back to Tyla.
I think Tyla's more pop.
Okay.
I pop and Afrobeats, and honestly, same with Thames a bit too.
Okay.
Although I love Thames, and Thames just put an album out today. I think.
Yeah. Oh
But
yay.
I would say and like what's that? There's a word. It's like a Mapiano or something
Yeah.
is like the I think
Mhm,
like
mhm, mhm, mhm,
that's
mhm.
Tyla's blend.
Okay.
So I think she blends. I don't think it's just I think she blends it.
Mhm.
What I will tell you, Kehlani's new single "Out the Window." Honestly, it's very R&B, one with beat. But to your point about she is yearning for love.
Uh-huh,
She
uh-huh,
is
uh-huh, uh-huh,
screaming on my
uh-huh.
track.
Yes.
Okay. I love when you give me a screaming outro, that's like,
Mhm.
baby, baby,
That's what I need.
baby.
Give me the
That's my shit.
Fantasia of it
That's
all.
my
Yes, Ari Lennox. Give me
mm-hmm.
the give me
Jasmine
the
Sullivan,
Mary
like,
J. Blige of it. I need the screaming and the hollering. I would
yeah.
even go as far to even say too, and it's cute when we get the little soft songs and oh, you know what I was gonna also say, real quick. Shout out to Mariah Carey and Anderson Paak. That new little song that they have called "Play This Song," that's a hit. I don't care what
Oh, I
nobody
haven't heard it
says.
yet.
That
I haven't
song
heard it
is
yet.
a hit. But yeah, enough of me. I can go on about R&B for all days. Oh
You're
yeah,
right.
also shout
Okay.
out to Miguel for them having a new album come out too, because I do like
A
Miguel.
period.
So maybe
Okay,
I do
fam. Well,
know more artists than I
now
think
that we have
I
the
do know.
vocals from every R&B singer, from Aretha Franklin to Tevin Campbell in our
Mhm.
heads and more, we gotta take
Yes.
one more break. We'll be back with y'all's first segment. Yes, we know my Pam's in just a minute.
All right, y'all. So we are at the last bit of the show, and I know this episode has been chaotic as fuck, but it has been fun. And so, with that being said, I want to close it out with keeping the fun going. And I wanted to say, yes, ma'am. So my yes, as you all know, we do for our last segment. Yes, ma'am. No, ma'am. Pams. This is where we either give people their flowers or we hit them with them. This week, I want to give. So I initially meant to do it last week. But because so much was happening in the studio when we were recording, I forgot about it. I wanted to shout out Brandy and Monica's tour. So I went to the Brandy and
Mm.
Monica's tour. My partner bought me tickets to go. He
Oh.
has such I literally had a blast. But I want to say it's really cool to see. I mean, if you grew up in the Brandy and Monica time, you know that Brandy and Monica were never supposed to be friends. They were never supposed to ever be cool with each other. They were never supposed. They were literally two opposite sides of the room, right? One was very street, one was very hood, which was usually how people attributed Monica. Brandy was the
Mm.
more very well put together. She was the princess. She was the black girl that everybody could see themselves in. And if you really want to get into it, a lot of it, in my opinion, was what the media does, right? They respectability politics and things. And so I love seeing them come together. And if you get a chance to catch their show, you'll also see and know that they talk very openly, like throughout a lot of the interludes. You get a very good understanding of what was actually happening between the two of
Mm.
them, and learning that it was actually their labels who were putting them against each other. They were like, I didn't even know that girl, and the labels were trying to pit them against each other. So it was
Mm.
really nice to see them come together. The show is absolutely fantastic. If you get a chance to catch it before it ends, it's really good money. It is really good money well spent. I also want to shout out the gays who keep Brandy and Monica paid, because they deserve it. They are
Mm-hmm.
talented. They are what, in my opinion, they are true music. They are true R&B. They are Brandy's voice. My God, her live. I just, there were moments where I was sitting on the floor and I literally wanted to take my shoe off and throw it, because I was
Mm.
like, oh,
Mm.
like Brandy should not sing as good as she sings. I'm sorry.
Mm.
Like it should be against the law for how good Brandy sings. And it's not even just her vocal, it's not the caliber of her vocal, it's the runs. It's the idea that she always knows where to add a little bit extra. She's just
Yeah, her
so
vocal technique is really
technique, house down boots. Like Brandy,
technique.
I mean, I would even dare to say, that Beyonce probably studies Brandy and her technique, because while Beyonce has a much stronger voice, the caliber of technique that Brandy has is unmatched. And I would dare to say that some of the greats that we know, like, and I know people have been talking about Jasmine Sullivan too. Jasmine Sullivan has been very vocal about saying, I study Brandy in her runs in order for me to do what I do. So just shout out to them. It was absolutely fantastic. One of the best shows outside of Dua Lipa's, because Dua Lipa's show was great too. It's probably one of the best concerts that I did get to. Now I will also say this: I, for Christmas, got Danity Kane tickets, so I'm also
Oh,
excited to go see them, and I will report back
okay.
about how that goes for the Danity Kane girls. Now, my no man Pam, so I can wrap this shit up. Um, Niggas at concerts who think they are the show, people who come late, baby. Like, and people do this, so people don't. It's just not concerts that bug me. It's movies too.
Mhm.
You know what time the concert starts.
Ooh.
You know what time the movie starts. Now, if it says 7:30, you need to be in your seat by 7:25.
Okay.
Please. Like, get your drinks, get your pop. Like, I understand during the show, oh, I gotta go to the bathroom. Okay, girl, I'll step out. I usually buy an Alcee. I'll step out for you to move to go. Go ahead, do what you're gonna do. But the fact that you are coming to the show, I kid you not, Jordan, this actually happened. We, like, Money Long went on, I think at 7:30. Kelly came on at about 8:35. These girls come stumbling in at like 9:10, talking about, oh, I'm so sorry we're late. Are you in my seat? Girl, where were you 2 hours ago? You wouldn't have this problem. You wouldn't be ruining my experience if you were here on time, like I was.
Mm.
And I
Mm-hmm.
know LA has traffic. So it's one of those things that really gets under my skin.
Yeah.
Like, I hate people who think because there's, like, I don't know if they think they're special. I don't know if they think they're the celebrity. Like, get to your seat on time. And also, don't try to outsing the singer. Like, as a
Okay.
person who can sing, when I go to concerts, I still mind how much I sing because I'm like, I know these people didn't come here to pay to hear me sing. They came to
Okay.
hear Brandy and Monica sing. So don't try to outsing them. That's all I have. And then also, again, pay the invoices, niggas. If you owe people money, pay them. Just pay the invoice. What are your yes ma'ams and no ma'ams for this week?
Mine's is a twofold for the same thing.
Okay.
So I stumbled upon a I
Not
love it.
stumble.
I stumbled upon a essentially like a mac and cheese off on Threads. So basically, so someone had posted the mac and cheese and was like, "This is the way to do it," and then and then Black Threads was like, "Girl." And then everyone posted their mac and cheese, and so everyone's like, "We all have good recipes, but also yours is dust compared to mine." So the original one was giving corn pudding. I said, "Baby,
Ew,
that's a pudding."
no.
It
Oh,
Would I have ate it?
I can
Sure, I was
see it.
giving corn pudding,
No.
but then people were like, "This how
Oh.
it should sound or should look, right?" And so so someone one of them,
Mm,
right, it was crispy on the outside, but it sounded real like juicy, and so
mm,
so it's like, oh, it's good when it look crispy, but it sound like wet coochie. I said that
mm-mm.
is nasty
Ah,
to say, and so everyone told yes ma'am Pam and no ma'am Pam to both of them because I was like, y'all are taking me down. Like I am fried with these comments
yes,
because y'all are wild with this. Also, no ma'am Pam because like y'all are like that OG one was not girl. That
that's
looked
not the
like
way.
goop. They're like goop. No, and then people and
Mm.
people were like people were like, not the boneless mac. Can't even see one noodle in there. I said, not boneless, baby. But it was
Oh,
giving emulsified. But
absolutely
so
not.
I realized in hindsight, I reposted it on the BFF page.
Yeah.
I was like, listen, I don't care how it looks or sounds, but how do it taste? That's
Well,
the question.
that is going to
Y'all
be
are
the
fighting over how it
question
looks
of the
and sounds.
day.
I don't care if it's too crunchy or too wet. I want
Yes.
to know, is it good?
Is it
That was the real
tasty?
cue. Y'all
Yes.
asking the wrong questions in this
Mm,
bitch.
mm-mm.
So hopefully, I volunteered us as taste testers. If you want taste
Oh,
testers, let
sure.
us know.
Mhm. Come
Let
on
us
down.
know.
Come on down. If
Oh, come
people
on
want to
down.
send us plates for this upcoming year, I mean for this upcoming holiday, next week I will
I'm
be
happy with
around,
it.
happy to
I'm
take it off
good.
your hands. I will
Bitch, I'm
happily,
good.
especially if it's made by anybody like Jade. Like Jade of all Jades.
Okay.
That woman is a cooking ass one, like she cooks the house down boots. And so if you
Okay.
believe you are a good cook, please email us and tell me where to pick up a plate because
Okay.
I will happily drive my black ass down to grab one. I really will. All right, girls. So we just go ahead and wrap this up because it's been a long episode, but it has been fun. I have had a time, honey. Please send us your thoughts, feedback, and email to blackfatfempod@gmail.com. You can also send us your thoughts via social media, which many of you do, by interacting with our post on Instagram and Threads using the handle Black Fat Femme Pod. I say this every week, and I'm going to keep saying it. It's BLK Fat Femme Pod. Queen Joho, where can the dolls find you this week?
As usual, my loves, you can find me at Joho Downs across all socials. My website, journeydowns.com, or you will find me sat and seated because several of my comfort films on Netflix came on, and I'm just be watching them throughout the winter, girl.
Yeah, yeah.
Okay.
What's the comfort film of yours?
One, Crazy Rich Asians. I love that
Okay.
movie so much. Like the glamour, Michelle Yeoh is everything. It's
Mm.
fun, it's funny, it's gorgeous, beautiful scenes, beautiful gowns, great gowns,
Beautiful
beautiful gowns.
gowns, girl. Beautiful
Yeah, live, laugh,
gowns.
love it. Mm.
Yes, I love that. I love that. I love that. As for me and for well, I think it's because I'm tired, child. As for me and mine, you can find me down to www.drjohnpaul.com. You can also follow me at Dr. John Paul on all socials, well, specifically Instagram, Threads, and TikTok. And then also over on Spill. I tend to be very active over on Spill these days. With that, you can also go purchase my book. I've been telling people, buy my book, give it away for a Christmas present, put it as a stocking stuffer. Somebody in your house needs to read it. You can also
Okay.
watch the little clip of me and who I'm meant to be on Hulu. I love shouting that out. Funny enough, they're actually starting to replay it again. And I'm getting people who are hitting me and saying, oh, I saw, like somebody recently messaged me and said that they saw it in their laundromat, that it was on the TV. And so they were like, oh my God, I know that person. So if you do see it out in the wild, shout me out, reshare it, go ahead and tag me. It's all fun. I love it. And then with that being said, yeah, that's pretty much it. That it gives what it is supposed to have given. So we're gonna go ahead and take a moment to say we want to thank our super producer Joey Pat for making this shit pop every single week, and everyone down to iHeartMedia for keeping the show up and running. We thank you. We appreciate you. And we love you. We love you. We love you.
Love you, boo.
We'd also like to shout out our wonderful editor, Chris Rogers, because without him, we wouldn't have no audio for your ear, and you'd have no visuals for down to the tubes of you. Did you hear, real quick, talking about visuals? Did you hear that people are suspecting that Beyonce is going to drop a visual on Thanksgiving?
I did not hear that, but
Yeah,
I
there's
pray.
a rumor that she's
I've
supposed to
given up
drop
though.
something. I don't think
Ugh.
I too have also given up, but I
People
just wanted
also
to put
thought on
that
her
out for the
birthday
world.
she was something too, and she did nothing.
T
So
T.
who do you trust?
Yes. Who can you trust?
Who can
My
you trust?
God, who can you trust? But anyway, this has been another show. Stay black, fat, femme, and fabulous. And remember what, Joho?
We may not be their cup of tea, girl, but that's okay. Drink some Red Bull, get into these fabulous wings, darling,
Yes,
okay?
yes,
Ooh.
yes. Oh, the wings. Ew, ew, ew. I love us for real. I'll see y'all next week. Bye.
Bye.